I recently drew this picture in my sketchbook and I wanted to put it in Infinite Painter and see how it works. Welcome to the Art Project. If you're new here, please subscribe. And if you enjoy this video, please give me a thumbs up. So I already took a picture of it and entered it into Infinite Painter on my Samsung Tab, I don't know, FE7, I think. And Infinite Painter is great. I think it is, I've never used Procreate, but I think that it is comparable with Procreate in a lot of ways. So far I've been happy with it. I'm not a digital painter by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm testing it out, trying to see how I like it, making it work. One of the things that I found out is I like the way the fill brush, F-I-L-L brush, does a line better than just drawing a line most of the time. And so I'm probably kind of doing this the hard way, but by using the fill line, I'm getting some variation in my brush that I really like. Another thing that I really like about Infinite Painter is I can put on the vertical symmetry feature. And whatever I draw on the right side shows up on the left, or whatever I draw on the left shows up on the right. And that really helps to get some vertical qualities to my drawing. Now some symmetrical qualities to my drawing. Now this particular drawing is not entirely symmetrical. The octopus is really more symmetrical than the snake is. The snake head is pretty symmetrical. But once I started drawing the snake's body, it's not one for one on both sides. I try to keep it somewhat symmetrical, but it's not entirely. So filling this in or outlining it with the fill brush took a while to do, and all in all, this thing probably took me like 24 hours to do. I worked on it all day one Saturday. Of course, once you have filled some things in, you can use the eraser tool a lot like you would a brush, and you can go back in and you can erase parts of it so that it leaves a line, so to speak, and which creates, in my opinion, a better line than just drawing with a straight pen or brush tool. So let's see what else is going on here. I wanted things to sort of intertwine. I wanted there to be sort of a weaving effect or a Celtic knot type design. Furthermore, I wanted there to be some texture to it. So at some point I added, what do you call it? Halftone type dots, or screen tone, I think is what it's called. Then I went around the background and created a background in black. One of the reasons I created the background in black was to help me select the entire image without selecting the background. So like I can select the background and then invert it, and that way I can mask off and sort of paint in the lines using the masking tool. Maybe other ways to do that. I also came in and like erased everything on that particular layer so that when I did mask it off, it was only masking off the background. But don't fret, the image is still there on another layer. I tested out a lot of things, like I was testing out the different marks, the different brushes, the different screen tone patterns. I tried hatching, cross hatching, looking for the best version of it, the best appearance. And I liked the way this hatching kind of worked, especially after I would erase the ends and make it sort of more uniform. But eventually I think I left the hatch marks off. I may try it again at another time, a different way, but I ended up using a different method of shading on this particular one. In fact, originally my intent was to do the whole thing black and white and not have any color at all. But my 17-year-old daughter, who's pretty artistic in her own right, made some suggestions and helped me out with some color. And I don't know if I stuck entirely to what she had suggested, but I did end up using some colors. I think some red, orange, and green for it. You'll see in a moment. I think, eliminated the screen tone that you see there, the little dot pattern. I think I eventually eliminated that from the final design. There was a lot of hatch marks that were being created, and I like the hatch mark feature of Infinite Painter. When you just kind of draw back and forth like you're trying to hatch, a lot of times you get more of a scribbly appearance. But if you use the hatch mark feature, it records it going down one direction, and even though you may be too close to the screen going back, it doesn't record that. So it makes it all like parallel straight lines. Adding all the little suckers were kind of difficult to do, but again, with the vertical feature, I was able to do that pretty fast and efficiently. Went through and cleaned up some edges. And then eventually decided on more of a charcoal brush. I think I was using a coarse charcoal brush to create the shadows. Not here, but in a moment. There you go. You can see me using the charcoal brush there. And it creates a little bit of a ragged edge, so it's a little bit more painterly, and I liked that. In the end, this is not, wonderfully realistic, but very stylized and simplified, and I think will make a really great sticker. And in fact, by the time you see this video, it will already be on RedBubble, so you could buy a sticker of my snake versus the octopus design. And I know this is going by really fast. Feel free to slow it down on your YouTube channel, on your YouTube viewer, if you want to. I just jumped around a lot from one part of the drawing to another part of the drawing as I see necessary to do so. This was the result of doing some flourishes. I've been drawing some flourishes and learning how to do that, and that was a lot of fun, but it got me to thinking, the way the flourishes curl and everything got me to thinking about tentacles. And after I started drawing the octopus and the tentacles that swirled in a spiral, kind of like the flourishes did, I then decided to draw the snake around it. Here I am going back and adding some shadows, softening some shadows, softening some different areas. And I believe that right there is the final design, my friends. I hope you like it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you give Infinite Painter a try. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Go make some art.